Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh man, we lost all that gold.
That was.
All Laurie volume, zero Jackie volume.
Oh wait, that sounds. What do you mean that the levels were off? The levels are finally right.
There were
After
6
4
seconds.
years.
After 4 years, there's 6 seconds that you will never hear. And it's so I learned so many things this week.
Okay.
Did you know? Okay, so I have been in the midst of a comedy label war.
Right.
Essentially, nobody's warring. No, there's race to the bottom as far as I can tell.
Yes.
But I have a new comedy album out. Several people have reached out and said that they'd be willing to do it with me. That is lovely, right?
So you haven't taped it yet.
No, I'm still working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so people are willing to. They're excited.
They're excited, and I think and I told Dan that I was thinking of doing it again with him, Stand Up Records, but I also told him I might not because it's been fine. I did 3 albums with him. He does a good job, but there's nothing really in it for him, so he doesn't do any promotion. Right? We've talked about this before, and
right.
And so
But
I think
if there's
I might
nothing in it for him, how does he make an income?
He has other people that he owns. Remember. He owns other people's stuff.
Okay.
I think at the time he just wanted to do mine. And there is download money. There's just no streaming money.
Okay.
Which is why he doesn't encourage anyone to stream my stuff, right? I mean, there's
right.
He doesn't have a real close relationship with Spotify and Pandora and XM
Well, Spotify
Sirius.
and Pandora don't pay anything anyway. So
Yeah, they do.
Barely.
That's where I get...
That makes sense.
You
It adds up, Laurie.
It adds up. That's where I get most of my money, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't... Sirius XM...
Can you print out your Sound Exchange and let me look at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So several different, places, and we've and I've sort of given you the scoop off. But here's the thing. There's 2 things I need. I just need to own my masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we should all own our masters. Here's what I did not know. There's a third thing. You can either own your masters or the record label publisher can own your masters. The third thing, which I should have known but did not know, is you can license out your fucking masters. And that's what everybody does.
Okay.
Everybody at a certain level anyway. So I've talked to both like Chad and Kathleen Madigan, and I was talking to both of them about, I was like, you guys own your masters, right? And they're like, they both were like, I must.
Oh man. Oh god.
Such
that's
a
how
classic.
record producers become billionaires.
Oh my God, it's such a and the record companies I'm trying to work with, they're not supposedly they are not weasels. They want good, they want to help comics and everyone should make money.
Right.
And the licensing of masters is how it's done. What you do is you say you get the publishing rights, half of the Sound Exchange money for a certain number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's 5 years or 10 years. And I talked to Maria today and she said, yeah, I think it's every, I split the licensing rights for every 5 years and then it automatically renews. I would have to put something into effect to cancel it, right?
Okay.
So, which is very possible. But if you're happy with the label, you're okay with sharing the money with them, if it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I licensed and then you got to make sure that in the contract, they don't have the right to sub-license it out, right? They're like, well, we're going to sub-license it to Verizon. And they're going to chop it into chunks and turn it into the content.
Yeah, what could it possibly be?
Where's the money?
Well, okay, so you, whoever owns the masters, once you put the album out, you mean they can take a joke and put it on someone else's album or something like that?
Yeah, they can make compilations out of it, I believe.
Right. Okay.
But the weird thing is and that would be a sub-licensing thing.
So they could do like, oh, we have a parenting album, and here's a little bit of Laurie and a little bit of this person, a little bit of that person. And if I own the masters, and I get the money from any plays on the parenting album.
You still get the artist money.
Right.
And in any case, it's just, I think that there's more to it because literally Chad, he texted me, he said, what's in it for people to own the masters? And I was like, I have to find out.
Right.
And I knew what's in it for me. They're my fucking jokes. That's what's in it for me.
Yeah.
I need to own my own masters. And you can always, like Hannibal Buress, he's going to re-record that album.
What?
Oh, you didn't?
No.
And this is hearsay, so I don't know.
Oh.
He tried to buy his masters back from some label, and they wouldn't sell it, so he's going to re-record his album, that original album. But then he has to spend the rest of his life saying, don't play that other album. Play this album, which is the current album.
Right.
And which is fine, it's better than nothing, right?
Right.
But the crazy thing is so what you want to, so Chad was like, what is in it for them? And I didn't realize the licensing thing. So I called Dominic Del Bene.
Yes.
And who has been nothing but the greatest ally in the whole wide world.
Correct.
And of stand-up comedy ever
Yeah.
since Rooftop. And so he told me about the licensing. And I was like, oh, so you can license it
Why
out.
isn't
And then
he
you get it back.
charging to give out this information?
Because he knew that I would not now tell all the young comics that are out there.
I know. That's
Well,
great.
This is good. This is because he's not a monster, right? 'Cause
Right.
He would like
Why
to.
isn't he a monster?
Well,
he's
interesting.
He's
Interesting.
in comedy and he's a record producer. Why aren't you a monster, Dominic?
You're listening, Dominic. Let me know if you want to turn into a monster at any time. And I do owe him a lunch, but he didn't ask for it. I just said I owe you lunch or a steak or whatever. And so
You know what? You're the monster of the two of you.
in this particular scenario, yes, I am the monster. And then the other thing is that happened, and this is me trying to be as sane as possible with
Right.
everyone who asks me
Right.
to do something, right? And I am like, I would love to do that. I need these two things, and hopefully that's okay. And I try not to say hopefully that's okay because I won't do it unless I get those two things, right?
Right.
There's no reason for me. I'm exhausted.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah.
reason for me to do more. And by the way, remember when I said I didn't have any work? I got some work.
I know.
Yeah.
I
and
know.
it
We
just
can barely
keeps-
fucking schedule a podcast because of all your work.
I know it. And it's
We're
just-
doing it on a Wednesday night. I'm tired, Jackie, and I have to work tomorrow morning.
I know you do. And we already recorded next Mondays. Is this next Mondays?
No, this is next Monday.
Oh, this is next Mondays.
and then next Monday we're recording the following Monday. And
Oh,
we have
that's
to do
right.
a bonus one.
Yep. we have
And
to
I'm
do a-
out of town for 10 days.
Oh, that's right. Where are you going? New York?
Well, I'll be at the Punchline in Sacramento this
Oh, that's
weekend
right.
when this drops.
Oh, good.
Come out, guys, please. And then the following week, I'll be at Acme Tuesday through
Oh,
Sunday.
sweet.
Yeah, Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is amazing.
Right.
And I'm doing, when this goes up, I will have just done the Punchline San Francisco. And
Such a great room.
it's a great room. It's such a weird, I remember the first time I tried to find it. It's up that weird staircase.
Yeah. This is like, there was, whenever I get around to releasing my album, this will be part of it. On Saturday, somebody had taken a giant shit on those stairs and both crowds had to walk around the shit.
A poop.
Oh yeah. Big one.
full-on-
big human shit.
Human poop.
Yeah.
Is there an elevator?
You can go around another way, I guess. But you know what? Just live. You're in San Francisco.
I
This
got a
is what
lot of
happens.
merch. I got a lot of,
Just you're bringing it up on Thursday night, right?
yeah.
Okay. They don't shit on Thursday. They shit on weekends. I told you it was a Saturday. Stop worrying. Okay. So wait. Go
All
back
right.
to licensing.
Okay, so no, so I just I'm not getting, the feedback I'm getting back is essentially maybe, these guys were interested. They said if you want to, we can do it, but
Right.
there's the problem that they don't book me. They're not going to promote the album anyway because they don't book me in their club.
Yeah.
So
Right.
how is that promoting the album?
Right.
And the left hand doesn't know that the right hand doesn't book me in their club.
Wow.
Yeah, because I said, well, I would need, for every year of licensing, I would need to work your club, each club.
Yeah.
So that would be whatever number of how many ever clubs you have.
Yeah.
If you have 11 clubs, that's 11 weeks of work.
Right.
And you can't pay me $600. You can't say, oh, sure, we'll work you 11 weeks. $600, no air, no hotel.
Yeah.
You have to pay, and which would means that I would have to talk to I'm going to have to talk to an entertainment lawyer anyway, but,
Are you for your album?
well, if for this next one, I think I will.
What are you going to talk about?
Well, I just want them, because if I'm going with a new label, I want to make sure.
If you go with these guys?
I'm not going with them.
Okay. Right.
Because found out they won't. Because you know how I said the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing?
Yeah.
The left hand told the right hand that that's what I wanted.
And then the right hand flipped
said
you
no.
off.
Yeah, the right hand was like, no,
gave you the
fuck
finger.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was given the bird. And I was like, oh, okay, well, noted.
Yeah. I
And-
mean, the same thing where the split was really good, but it's like, yeah, but you won't work me.
You won't work me, and you own the masters.
And you're taking my material, but you won't let the material work in your club?
yeah.
What do you no.
Yeah, you like the material enough to do an album, or that side of the business does, right?
Right.
The other side of the business that is willing, as per usual, and it's just something that you just gotta. I'm not happy with it, obviously, right? Where the acceptance of male comics at our level who do not fill the room
Right.
are booked,
Or
but
below our
only
level. Yes.
or below our level. But women comics only who fill the room, who
Right.
only sell out the room, are booked.
Right.
And it is
Infuriating?
Gosh, I think it's sexism.
Oh,
Wait
yeah.
a minute, do you think?
Yes.
And
100%.
right. It literally feels like you don't like women. It feels, I was like, okay, all right. And
Maybe it's like they don't know how to market women, but they know how to market guys. And if it fails, well, at least it's something they're comfortable with.
yeah, I think it's just, it's a
mean,
comfort thing.
I feel like if you let a certain audience know we were there,
yeah,
they would come.
right.
Do you not know how to talk to those people?
I really don't think they do.
Are there just incels on your email list? Could you broaden it out a little bit?
Right. By the way, I picked up 2 weeks in the last 8 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right. I got an email late. I got 2 emails in the middle of the night. Speaking of sending out weird, Laugh Seattle and
Yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that'll be super fun.
Yes.
And those are great rooms and super fun clubs and really nice people who run them and own them.
Yeah.
And we all work together to make some. So that's the one thing. The other thing was this cruise ship thing.
Right.
Where-
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
I'm not going.
Why?
Because I was as polite as could be, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So, and maybe it'll happen with more notice, but I was supposed to go at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
So there were 2 weeks notice to get this flight to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And they were like, we want to book it. And I said, I travel way too much to get on a strange airplane. I know what coach in Delta is. I even know what regular Southwest
Can't
is.
they give you the amount of money they would have paid for Spirit?
That's what I said.
okay.
Right. I was like, and because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to go Spirit. Or
Oh, really?
JetBlue
I was being
or-
sarcastic.
No, because I kayaked it, and Spirit was $203.
Oh, God.
But the thing is Spirit charges you to breathe. It's another $100
No,
to
it's
bring your
awful.
items with
It's
you.
awful. Yeah.
So it's still $303.
Right.
And I said, if you guys are willing to pay, because it was 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Southwest was $440. Delta was $640, and which is a lot. But
Right.
it's across the country.
Yeah.
So, and it's 2 weeks notice. So
Right.
that can't be surprising to
Right.
anyone. And so I was like, I'm even willing, if they'll cover the Southwest, I'll do that. And I haven't heard back. So these are me going, I'm trying to be flexible. I'll eat that $200. Let me know. And now nothing. So I had booked the flight and I had 24 hours to cancel it.
I've done a couple of those.
Right. Well, you do it all the time, but it's usually with Southwest and where you can bank points
you
and stuff.
Southwest, you can cancel like 10 minutes before the flight.
Yeah.
The money goes back in a Southwest bank.
Yeah.
But Delta, remember I got out of the pool in where was it? Was it Lake Tahoe? I was in the pool and I'm like, oh my God, I got to cancel that fucking United flight. And I got out and I got on my, I was dripping wet and I got on my iPhone and canceled this flight. And because I had 24 hours to.
And you got in under the wire?
Yeah.
That's so great.
Because I had gotten a better deal with something else.
Yeah,
I
there
just
you
wanted
go.
to lock it down.
Right. So I locked it down, and then, it's 15 minutes before, and I'm like, why? I could wait 15 minutes, and then I call, and because I've lost diamond status, they don't take my calls as quick anymore.
Jackie.
So I had to go into
year.
hold.
This is a rough year.
It's gonna be a real rough year,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna suck it up, and it'll be fine. But I just so I'm trying to be as sane as possible with these people, but I can't tell if they think that I'm being a diva, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to go. You want to see a diva? Which, of course, that's of no use to anyone.
I think most comics have a few demands.
Right. Just at this point, I'm just tired.
Especially travel related. I mean, it's so exhausting.
I need to be able to take one of the two airlines that I like.
Yeah.
And I need a hotel room all to myself.
Right.
And it has to not be a death trap. How about
Yes.
that? And I enjoy a Hampton Inn a great deal. Speaking of which, the guy who listens to this, sir, I have forgotten your name. Anyway, a really nice guy. He sent me a giant bag of Hampton.
rings?
No, not cock rings.
Oh.
Oh, that was that cock ring thing from last week that
Yeah.
I don't think I ever told.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. Where was I? I was last week.
You were in Indiana?
That's right. I was at the Helium with Maria
right.
in Indiana. It was wonderful. And we stayed at a Westin.
Right.
And my room had two, and I dropped one of my earrings on the carpet. And
Can I tell you, I didn't know you wore earrings.
I wear earrings.
Wow.
Sure, not right now.
No, never when I see you. You
No,
could
I
dress up a little bit for, I put on my best robe.
Yeah, I like that your Christmas tree is still up. So,
You know what?
why don't you get off?
I don't have any room to store it, so I'm like, let me just leave it out.
Allow me to quote Janelle Monáe and say, "Get off my areola." Here we go. So, but the so I go down to pick up my earring, and underneath there's two beds in the room, right? Underneath the other bed is what looks like a hair tie, and it is a cock ring. And I pick it up to throw it away, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm touching a cock ring. And then I throw it away, and then I wash my hands for a long time. This is actually not the original hand. I've had it replaced.
No, I do see bone. You have scrubbed skin off.
I've scrubbed. And so, and I go downstairs, and I was like, hi, there was trouble. There was a cock ring. And the woman goes, what? And I said, yeah, it's someone was having a good time previous. And I was like, I was wondering if I could get some points. And she goes, oh yes, you can have a lot of points.
Great.
And
Do you have to bring it down with you or anything?
oh no, there was no more touching of it. And but here's my favorite part of the story is Andy was like, did it look like it had a lot of mileage in it? And I was like, how many 6 inches are in a mile?
Okay. That's a math dick joke.
Solid joke.
Yeah.
Solid dick joke.
Yes.
I sometimes I tickle myself
Yeah.
with an occasional math dick joke. So that was what happened in that hotel room. And so and a Westin, that's a Marriott property, I believe.
Okay.
And so I'm also trying to figure out how to get to New York and not stay with my beloved friend if she's listening. I don't want to stay with her in her apartment with her dog and her cat and her husband in the Bronx. I want to stay
that's a lot.
in a hotel room, I don't want to stay in a pod. I understand the pod, you got to share a bathroom. And so
Well, what about the place you usually stay? The
that Hampton
Garden?
Inn?
Yeah.
It's good, except for it would be for the 14 days I want to stay, it would be $3,000.
Ooh.
Yeah, hi. And I know I could write it off, but guess what? I don't want to do. Write it off.
Right.
I want it to be free. And so I have that Chase Sapphire thing that's, but I don't know. What I could do is I could spend 2 nights at that one.
Yeah.
And then I could take 2 nights in my Hilton Honors points and use those. I might have 2 more nights.
Yeah.
And then I could have 2 nights in a Marriott, but I'd have to switch hotels every 2 days.
Yeah.
That's a pain in my ass.
Well, what if you did 4 days and say you do 4 days at one hotel, use points on 2 of them, non-points on, and
there
then
you go.
just go every.
Yeah, every 4 days.
Yeah.
That seems sane.
Yeah, and not
That
too
seems a little
expensive.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll cut it in half anyway.
What dates are you going to be there?
Oh no, I don't have
You don't
dates.
know.
I
Okay.
did, and then I just booked these 2 weeks of work. I think I'm working them.
Okay.
I also picked up a corporate as well, and so I sent off a corporate contract. And
I want a corporate.
do you want a corporate?
Yes. Dude, I do crowd work the whole time on a corporate.
That's right.
2 jokes
You know
and
what
crowd
else?
work, and I mix in all the shit in your company. Why am I not doing corporates every night?
Oh my god, you could do corporates. Okay. So somebody said to me
Yeah.
in my imagination, nobody said this,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Literally, I said this to myself. You know how you tell yourself, I should want to do this. We were talking about this last week. I should want to do this. This is what a real comic would do. They would never turn down a gig.
Right.
But there's gigs I don't necessarily want to do, right?
Right.
But like I remember in the early 2000s, the last time I was doing a lot of one-nighters where I would fly to Minneapolis and I would do 6 weeks of one-nighters.
Yeah.
Was probably 2003, 2004.
Right.
And I would do like 6 weeks of that. And people would say, "Do you like doing one-nighters?" I was like, "No.
That's right.
No, it's not what I want to do, but it's the work, right?"
Yeah.
And so I used to play Vegas every year. And they're like, "Oh, do you love doing Vegas?" I'm like, "No. No, but that's where the work is."
Yeah.
And it's not, they're fine. And it's the same as with the cruise ship is like, it's not my first choice, but you fear all 3 of those gigs. Fill me with a little bit of fear of where I think I'm going to get hacky, right? Where constant vigilance. You have to Mad Eye Moody this shit so that you don't, when you're on the road, you can get, either just kind of boring or just super dirty, right? In Vegas, you can get just super boring. And same with cruise ships is like worst case scenario of those places. And that, I mean, I'm sure that's true if I were doing.
I don't know. I think in those gigs you pick the material that'll work, and then you kind of stretch it out a little bit, or you don't do crowd work. But I pick stuff I know is okay, and then I kind of work around in between those bits. I do some.
But what do you
crowd work and
write?
stuff like that.
How do you write in those situations?
Oh, you don't. But you come home. That's when you get through those gigs and you cash your checks and then you come home and write.
Right.
I mean, sometimes on one-nighters, I think you can come up with stuff. And it depends. Like a cruise ship, it depends
think
how
all of that stuff-
regulated. I mean, you can come up with things any place.
Yeah, but I like
It depends how regulated you are.
right. It's the material.
You know what? On one-nighters, maybe you're going to write a dick joke. You always need a dick joke.
You do always need a new dick joke. It's
You can't be a purist the entire 45. People like genitals at some point in the show.
right. People love genitals. It's
Okay, so
nice pause. Hey, why don't we take a Max Fun break?
Hey everyone, Mujan Zulfikari here with the cast of Mission to Zix. Our 4th season premieres on February 19th, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the show, we decided to ask one of our characters to give you a quick recap of what's happened so far, so say hi, C-53!
Hello, how may I be of service?
C, could you tell us what's happening in the Zix quadrant leading up to season 4?
Certainly. The evil Nermit Bundleoid, not to be confused with the non-evil Nermit Bundleoid of no relation, murdered his fellow counselors and crowned himself Emperor of the Galaxy. With the help of myself and the rest of the crew of the Bargerian Jade, Seaman Plek Deck Center knocked the Emperor and an ancient cosmic entity known as Beano into a chasm aboard the gigantic Planet Crusher, a machine built to crush planet crushers, which in turn were designed to crush planets. The resulting implosion created a vast celestial object with unknown powers. We are currently in search of our former rebel commander Sisu Gundu, who may yet reunite our fractured galaxy. Is that sufficient?
Yeah, all clear to me. Mission to Zix, season 4 debuts on February 19th on Maximum Fun.
all right. I guess we'll fill
What
this
did you
hour.
write down?
Oh, no, I was just saying so I haven't done anything with my album recordings. They're just sitting there.
You've listened to one of them?
Yeah, a couple months ago.
Come on.
It's overwhelming. Okay. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking what you said with Maria, where she just doesn't even listen to it. Maybe
Right.
that's the way to go. So I have to say to someone, all right, here, I have to pick a person to do all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff and be the record producer or whatever.
I suggest you pick someone who likes you.
Sure.
Okay.
That narrows the field considerably. Now, no, but the thing though, it's like I'm in this chat on Twitter with some other women, and one of them is a singer, a fairly successful singer who was talking about.
Would
her-
I know who she
No.
was? Okay. Good guess.
who was talking about her record album, and I just said the thing is like you can put out an album and then you can sing those songs on tour and no one gets mad. Like once I put out the album, if I do that material, maybe I can do it, but I feel guilty and uncomfortable and it's not fun, you know, because I'm worried, oh my God, have people seen this before, you know? And it's not the same thing. And I think the royalty and all that,
It's a different
our
gig,
deals
yeah.
are not as good as what singers get when they're aggressive about that stuff. And they
don't
still
know.
get to reuse that material.
Yeah.
Like we're signing away all this stuff and then we can't really comfortably use that material again. At least maybe not right after it comes out.
I know what you're saying, and I think that you're mostly right because or that has traditionally been the thing. You
Right.
put out the album, you've burned the material, work on a new hour.
Right.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, except for, am I going to show up at a club with 12 minutes of material that I've worked on now and then just work out my hour? And
You know, Maria's
come
special came
back?
out last week.
No, I'm not, Jackie. I'm not Maria. I'm not any of these comics that can do that. I still have to go up there and I still have half the crowd not knowing who I am.
Which
and
helps.
Not liking female comics and going, all right, let me turn.
Well, no, she did her
switch these
special. She
lines
just
around.
did the hour. She did
Right.
the hour that she was doing, and then
Right.
she did a new 15. That was really very funny.
Yeah.
But the deal is that people don't know who we are. You know, so half the audience doesn't know who we are. So we can go to the vault, and we can do it. But I know I know why you're worried about it, and I know why it's not as much fun.
Yeah.
So it's just a pain in the ass. So is that what's holding you back in putting it out?
No.
Okay. You're like, oh no, but it's a great excuse, isn't it?
It is a
It's
great
like-
excuse. It is. I think it's a very solid excuse. There are no holes in my theories. It's 100%.
That's the hill you could die on. You could just die
Definitely.
on that fucking hill of
can't wait.
If I put it out, then I can't do it, or I could listen to it, put it out, and that would be another revenue stream. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a writer's strike. I'm going to need another revenue stream.
Yeah. I mean, the whole
Jackie, there might be a writer's strike.
when?
I don't know, but our contract is coming back up,
Oh, yeah?
and we want a little more of the streaming money. Like they made up all these. Their Writers Guild a long time ago gave up a lot of stuff because they didn't predict streaming,
Right.
which nobody could.
Yeah.
And so now the writers, you know, when they work on stuff, they get a pittance of what the rest of the company is making, right?
Right.
The production company. They're making
All the
90%
money,
or
yeah.
whatever it is. It's like you can share it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have this shit if someone wasn't writing it.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
Funnily enough, my brother Phil was telling me he was watching a lot of those sketches, Conan sketches.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he was like, that guy is hilarious.
Yeah, he's
and I was
fucking
like,
genius.
Yeah, it turns out it's not a fucking hobby. And he's also listening to his podcast and he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so-
good. I hope I wonder if the podcast is driving people to the show. I wonder if there are people that don't know he has a TV show, but they love his podcast. And they're like, wait a minute. What? He has what?
That
A
is
TV
funny.
show?
It's so
Anyway, it's just that's another thing I'm panicking about big time.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can't live in a future that isn't right, and they're going to negotiate for you, or
Well, no, I mean, the guild would, they would go in and negotiate, and they would come back and say, we
Are going on
we
strike."
recommend accepting this, or we recommend striking because
Yeah.
they're not giving us what we know they have, and
Right.
what we want. And then, you know,
yeah,
the thing
you
is,
could do a lot of road work though.
not really, because a strike would be like next week. It would start. I'm just saying, not actually
Right.
next week, but it would be start
It would
very soon.
instantaneous, yeah.
And then when it's over, we go right back into production. So it could
You can't
last
book
3
it
days
out.
or 7
Yeah.
weeks, you know, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So not really. But what was I gonna say? I fucking forget. I don't know. So it's worrisome. That's all.
Yeah, it is worrisome. I've been trying to figure out a way that we could go to a town and do. Would you prefer to do a Saturday night show, or would you prefer to do a Sunday afternoon show like Portland of
It would
Jackie
be
and Laurie?
cool if we could do a Saturday and a Sunday, 2 different places within.
Oh,
You
in
know what I
one
mean?
town,
Um,
or are you thinking you will
maybe
like we'd
a
fly
couple hours
into
apart.
Pittsburgh and then drive to Bethlehem, and
Those
then,
were exactly the 2 cities I was thinking of because I'm Joe Biden and I'm a hard scrabble blue collar worker. Something like that. Or
Yeah.
fly into Chicago and do Chicago, Wisconsin, maybe, or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Right, something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Maybe.
but you would. Oh, do you like the idea of 2? Just because the money might be better too.
Yeah, we're
right?
out there. We might as well not get
Right.
2 of them, right?
Yep. It's yeah, like if we did a Saturday afternoon and then drove to the next town and then just slept, because you would probably take a red eye and then do like
it depends where it was, but I could fly out early on Saturday morning.
Yeah,
You could do a Saturday someplace and then do a Sunday and then fly back.
it'd be yeah. All right, I'll look into that. The only other thing going on is so Maria told me that she asked Jess to get her a bunch of different places to promote the special.
Yeah.
And Jess really good at her job, and so she got too many places. And then and
You mean like gigs?
no, just like a lot of press.
Okay,
a lot
right.
of, like everybody's podcast and everybody's.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
like
yeah.
a bunch of TV shows and a bunch of interviews with all the different newspapers.
Yeah.
And she's super tired.
Yeah, right.
And a couple of them are not. She doesn't want to do them.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that would be tough.
she's just
It's
she's
a
like
tough one.
it a little some of the zoo radio stuff she's known for not wanting to she's like, I sit there and I can feel them not liking my voice. I can feel them not enjoying
God.
not thinking that women are particularly funny.
Right.
And I am a woman.
Yeah.
So I was like, that is interesting.
Yeah.
If you got to a level where you're like, no, I want all the press. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing press for Sacramento Punchline this week.
Oh, cool.
It's very weird, isn't it?
San Francisco, you mean? I'm in Sacramento.
Oh, sorry, San Francisco Punchline. Yeah.
So what are you doing? Are you doing KGO?
Probably. They
Yeah.
sent me a list, but they're both on Friday morning.
Oh,
And I have to take like a lift.
I think you could. Are you staying at? Oh, wait. I don't want to say the hotel.
It's the Westin. I'm staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
No.
At the
Are you
top
staying
of the,
here?
I'm staying at the top of a no.
No. I love that little hotel. Where are you staying?
I thought that's what it was called.
It's right across the street.
Yeah. It's
What?
called that.
I don't know.
It's probably I was about to say something bitter. Allow me to not.
okay. Maybe they raised their rates.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they're sold out. Is there like some kind of convention in town? It's that hotel is a total pilots and convention hotel.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's happening this week in San Francisco. I assume
You get to walk all over San Francisco. Are you going to do that?
well, I get there tomorrow,
Right.
Thursday.
Right.
And then Andy's coming up on Friday. And then on Saturday, I'm meeting with my niece. I'm meeting with a friend of mine. I got a bunch of social obligations.
Sure.
And my nephew lives there too, but I haven't initiated contact.
Good.
He has
Don't
like
keep it down. You already have too much to do.
I already have a lot to do.
You should be walking on the wharf with sea lions. What are you doing with all
With
these
sea
obligations?
lions?
Yes.
That feels rude. It's like they're busy. They got lives to lead.
No,
sea
they
lions.
just hang out and people take pictures of them, but they're awesome.
and they throw bread or
they're
something?
gigantic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big.
They hang out on the wharf, on Fisherman's Wharf. They're great.
Oh, okay. Well, probably not.
Okay.
But it's like 45 degrees here.
Yeah.
Is it going to be 35
It's gonna
degrees
be
up
fucking
there?
awful.
It's going to be terribly cold.
Yes.
And it's so funny.
That's why it's so wonderful.
That's what people who live in San Francisco love how cold it is.
Yeah.
When it was super hot when I did Throckmorton, not the last time, but the time before.
Yeah.
It was unseasonably warm. It was like 100 degrees, and they could not have been grumpier. It was the last day I was there. it dropped 30 degrees. And I
Yeah.
was like, I was freezing, and they all cheered the fuck up. It was hilarious.
People have their fog outfits, right? And they want to wear them. I mean, because they're attractive. They're not like snow outfits that are bulky and down and all that stuff. It's like it protects you from the fog and that kind of cold, but they're also it's a slim fabric, so you still look stylish. And you know me, I'm all about that.
I do know that.
You're yawning more than me, and that's never happened before.
It seems weird. What did I do today? God knows. I did so much. I've only been home for 2 days, right?
Right.
And I leave again. I'm kind of psyched that they gave my Wednesday to Michelle Wolf.
Oh, neat.
And they didn't prorate me.
Oh, cool.
because they're
she's gonna
making
fill
money
that room
hand over
hard.
Yeah, they'll hand over fist. That'll be
That's
fine.
a great week.
So
For San Franciscans, that's a great week.
oh yeah. And so I'm just happy to be home one more day.
Yeah.
Right. And so and I fly out of Burbank tomorrow, which is nice.
Southwest?
Yes. Southwest to SFO, and then SFO to that hotel,
Yeah.
and which is hopefully close to. But they said that they're covering all lifts anyway, so
Yeah.
it's it'll be fine. And
This club
NATO
hasn't
Green,
reimbursed me my lifts yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah. I gotta send them an email again.
Yeah, a little reminder.
Yeah.
Because that's what that is.
I made a terrible error as I left the club without getting reimbursed for my
Yeah,
lifts.
yeah,
Because I
'cause-
was promised
Right.
that would be in the mail.
Yeah, the manager told me that he was like, "Well, do you want it in cash or do you want to just do it?" And I said, "Oh, cash."
Yeah.
But that's, par for the course, right?
Yeah.
So, I was going to tell you the great guy from the Hampton Inn who listens to the show
Yeah.
ordered 6 Elliott Cation challenge coins so that he could give them to his sales team.
That's awesome.
Because they say never say no without a number. And
These are great.
yeah, they're really cool. And I sent a T-shirt and 2 coins to my dad.
Yeah.
And he called me the other day, and I answered the phone. "Your face is a cash cow, Dad." And he goes, "It always has been."
These are awesome.
Yeah, they're
better
nice.
than the Presidential Medal of Freedom that was given to Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, for having cancer? Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a really good reason to get a Medal of Freedom.
Vile. Okay.
He's a dirtbag of
The worst of every proportion.
they're pretty cool. And my dad was like, "How much are you charging for the coins?" And I said, "Well, since they cost me $11, I'm charging $20." And he said, "Oh, I told people they were $30 because I didn't want to give mine up." And I said, "You skimming off the top?" And he said, "Are you going to charge me $20 to get more of them?" And I was like, "No." I love the pause though. That was fun for me, is to pause and think about it. And yeah, I don't know where I am the week that this comes out. You're in Sacramento. Do you know who's featuring for you? Should we do the comic of the week?
No. Yes.
You don't know who's featuring, and
don't.
we should do the comic of the week.
Yes.
And it is
Karinda Dobbins.
Karinda Dobbins.
Congrats,
We-
Karinda.
We watched a video of yours, and you're featuring for me, and so it was all very exciting.
Yes.
It was a very funny video, and Karinda starts with a K. Spell it.
Karinda.
Dobbins, Dobbins.
Right.
And so, she very funny. They were
You
at
guys are going to be a
Flowers,
good combo, the two of you, in San Francisco.
And then, dang it, I forget his last name, but a guy named Phil is hosting.
Phil. Yes. Phil Griffin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Oh, NATO
Griffin.
Green's doing a guest set tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's all coming together.
it's all coming together. And so, yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I know why. I know what I'm doing next week. It's my niece's bat mitzvah. So we will be in Minnesota.
You're flying to Minnesota for a bat mitzvah?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
for
God.
Darla's daughter's.
Wait, are you going to be in Minnesota at the same time I'm in Minnesota? The
No,
16th?
the 13, 14, 15.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Because you're probably
Yes.
getting there the 16th or 17th, right?
Yes.
Monday or Tuesday?
I'm going to fly home really early on Monday morning on the 17th
Okay.
and get in around 8 a.m. And then I'm flying out at around 4 p.m.
The same day?
Yes. 'Cause I just wanted to check
Because there's
in
a
with my
Sunday
son.
show in Sacramento, right?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. So ask early in the morning. My kid doesn't have school that day, but I wanted to just see him.
and you're going to get to Minnesota night before.
Yes. Monday night.
So you can get some rest.
Yes.
That's a good idea. And then you can see your son. Say
You know what
hi.
I put I put up a video on YouTube. Because when I was
Oh, you were
pregnant-
editing it.
No, this one's I did a little editing last week and this week, but this one is from 2007. I was 7 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And at Acme, so I just kind of put it up. I was
That's
just,
awesome. So,
fucking
what's your
around.
YouTube? Is it just Laurie Kilmartin?
It's Laurie Kilmartin 16.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Like any Laurie.
Yeah.
16.
And then the last week I was at Flappers, and Flappers is part of a giant complex, right? So there's an AMC on top of it and all this other stuff.
Right.
And the AMC, I guess the popcorn machine went haywire and it set off a fire alarm during the show. So for I had been on stage about 3 minutes, and the next 11 minutes were a fire alarm. And
And everybody just stayed there.
oh yeah,
No one was alarmed.
nope.
There was no exodus.
No, there wasn't. The audience was like, "I don't smell smoke. Keep talking." And then
That's hilarious.
Within like 2 minutes, we figured out it was an AMC thing. So then it just turned into this incredibly annoying. And then it would stop, and everyone would be like, "Oh, it's over." And then attention, and it was like a male voice saying,
it was-
"Please
it
exit
wasn't a
the
wah,
building."
wah, wah.
It was that too. It was a combo.
It was
attention.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, for 11 minutes.
Wow. Did you?
Then
How did you work? What bits did you work on?
I was no bits. Once that started, I was just kind of riffing around,
Right.
and it wasn't an easy thing to riff with because A, you didn't know if I was coming back, and B, after like 4 jokes, you're like, okay, I'm out of fire alarm stuff. Okay, I can't keep. I don't have another more well water to bring up here. We're done. It's empty. And so it was awkward at times.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Incredibly
super.
awkward.
That sounds super awkward.
But
Yeah.
so I'm trying to edit it a little bit, so it's not as painful to watch as it was to perform. Like just put the laughs in,
Right.
and put it up on YouTube. It's such a pain in the ass to caption videos, but I understand why they do better because sometimes you can't have the sound on. Sometimes you're in a meeting, you're not supposed to be
you're at
watching
work,
anything,
and you're not
Right.
supposed to be
Yeah, that's how I watch most
Yeah.
stand-up comedy.
Yeah. And did so you're captioning your own stuff now?
Just on with iMovie, and iMovie is shit. Like all their titles are you have to use like the title
The font
part of
or-
the
okay.
of iMovie. It's all for credits or for actual movie titles, or it's not for captioning. So you have to use one of them and like erase the bottom part and kind of work around it. It's like, could they just fucking add a caption type of video?
I think there's
a
a
title.
Yeah, I think there's an app or something like that.
But these things are so big; they're like 10. They're at least 10 minutes, if 10 to 15 minutes. So you can't
Wow.
really open them in a tiny little app on your phone. You have to use like a bigger software to do it.
Yeah. Huh. I put up on Instagram my Final Fantasy Legend bit from the 12th century, 2003, and it was captioned, and it's doing pretty good. It's not doing as well as I thought it would do because I thought people would be more nostalgic. People really liked the bit I did last year on NPR on Live From Here. That I'm a better comic than I was in 2003. So
Right? Yeah.
the-
That's what I noticed too when I was watching the pregnancy video. I'm like, oh, I could have tightened that up.
so much tighter. I'm
God.
hemming and hawing all over that
Yes.
damn Final
Yes.
Fantasy joke.
Yes.
Who wants any part of that?
So annoying. Can you edit out some of that stuff?
No.
No.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So
Right.
but I did find sort of a cash cow of other videos that I'd forgotten about. Did you ever do any stuff for Effin Funny? I don't think you even lived here then. EFFIN.
Oh, sounds awful.
It was
No.
terrible. It would,
Yeah.
and they had a YouTube. The early days, they had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And all of a bunch of. I did a 30-minute set, and they cut them into 3-minute chunks and put them all up.
How
And
much did they pay you for that?
$50.
Oh my god.
And the other thing,
So bad.
here's the other thing about almost every video of me, either on television or anywhere, That coat's gone. I can't find that sweater. Fuck those earrings. Where are all of the items I'm wearing? I can't find them anymore. And that effing funny set, there's a brown sweater that I freaking loved. That's gone. Gone, I tell you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's nothing to be done.
I lost my Galway sweater someplace.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't know where.
Huh.
It just, the road takes things from us. They take our cock rings. They take our sweaters.
There's like 5,400 feet in a mile. So,
are you still working on this joke?
yeah.
Good.
Well, what the heck?
Good for you.
Yeah. I got how many inches are in? I forget how many. It's like and then how 12 inches in a foot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a
get
lot
my
of
son on
mileage.
it.
It's a lot of mileage on that
He'll
cock ring.
secretly open a calculator and do his math homework with it.
I did the pleasure chest
how'd
last
it go?
night. It was lovely. It was actually really, really fun.
Did you get some stuff?
I did. I bought a thing. I bought a hilarious.
It's a sex toy
a vibrator
shop
Yeah,
/
it's like,
comedy room.
yeah, it's got a little comedy room in it, but you get a 15% discount. And so I have owned a vibrator for these probably 5-6 years now. I just bought one. First one ever, and I'm 100. And this time I bought this super duper one that this lady totally I was like, this is intimidating. The size of it, the things it does. She was like, this isn't anything to that thing over there. And she pointed, and it looks like one of those riding bulls, but it has a dildo thing on it.
Wow.
And you sit on it, and then the whole thing moves. And she's like, that actually will kill you.
Holy shit.
Yeah. She was like, it goes too fast. And I was like, have you? Not appropriate.
You think I'm going to have a vibrator with these two in my house?
Oh my God. You
No.
kidding? They're nosing around. They're going through your shit.
My mom's cleaning shit all the time. My son wears half my shoes. I mean, all my
your
tennis shoes.
Oh, you
yeah.
wear your sneakers? You have the same size feet?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have big feet. He's coming up on me.
Right. I am refraining from any number of big feet jokes. I am over here thinking about what. So we're just going to Minnesota for the bat mitzvah, and we're gonna stay at this, like a nice hotel, and then we're gonna. But I'm psyched to go. Right, obviously. Hi, Darla, and but the and it'll be relatively mellow. Right?
Starla's daughter?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, she's turned 13, and she's Andy
Wait,
insisted
this
on.
is my niece as well, correct?
Yes, this is also your niece, and she's having a bat mitzvah, and so Andy insisted on buying her Batgirl and Batwoman stuff because she's going from being a Batgirl to a Batwoman.
Oh.
I was like, "You're a nerd."
Pretty awesome.
Right, I know. And
Did I tell you my son started riding his bike to school?
oh, did he get a bike? He
Yeah.
got it, and he is riding it.
Yes. And
Okay.
so there's some mornings where I don't have to take him to school.
Right.
And sometimes that's the only time of the day I get to talk to him. So I was like, oh, this hurts. But it's also awesome. And just to watch him ride away in his helmet, and I don't know.
How far is the school? Only a couple miles, or if that?
It's like about a mile.
Okay,
Yeah.
not bad.
Through just the worst traffic in Los Angeles. Everyone trying to get to work at the same time my son gets to school.
Right.
Somebody, Disney has a studio right nearby.
Yeah.
And somebody got killed in the crosswalk by somebody who was texting and driving. She
Yeah.
was just walking to work.
Yeah.
I
So-
let my son know this every day.
Every day?
I said,
Can I
watch
let you
out for
know
those
something?
when a car door opens, it can push you out onto the street and the car will run you over.
Wow. Apple does not fall that far from the paranoid tree. Let me say this. Let's
What?
do one more Max Fun break.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Jared Hill, co-host of the brand new Maximum Fun podcast, Fan Time.
And I'm Travell Anderson. I'm the other more fabulous co-host, and the reason you really should be tuning in.
I feel the nausea rising.
To be Fanti is to be a big fan of something, but also have some challenging or anti-feelings toward it.
Kind of like Kanye.
We're all fans of Kanye. He's a musical genius, but
He thinks slavery is a choice.
or like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I love the drama, but do I want to see black women fighting each other on screen?
Hell to the nah, to the no.
We're tackling all of those complex and complicated conversations about the people, places, and things that we love.
Even though they may not love us back.
Fan Time, Maximum Fun, podcast.
Ow.
We're at 47.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're humming along.
We're humming along.
Did you? I read that New York Times article.
Oh, the one that quoted your tweet?
Yeah.
And then it was just a tweet exchange with Roy Wood Jr. too.
Yeah, right. It
was pretty flat.
It was fine. I
Yeah.
was worried. I was like, what did I tweet?
What did I
Shit, am I
write?
canceled? Yeah, I mean, it's
It was the Ari Shafir thing.
it was the Ari story, and
it was this
and
long.
Now it's now like a certain group of people knew about it because they love Kobe, right? And it was like a story, and it was like anxiety. And now the New York Times puts it out, and it's a whole new group of people that are offended and outraged and pissed. And if you look at the comments, it's like people, it's there's comments on Twitter, and then their parents are now commenting on the New York Times website,
God.
and it's just like these giant paragraphs of what they find funny, and oh my God, it's so tiresome.
It is tiresome, and it's so interesting. You can to read that article. It was fascinating because you can tell exactly what kind of comedy fan the Jason guy who wrote the article is.
Zinnemann?
Was that his last name? And so because I was like, oh, he's like, arguably Joe Rogan is the most popular podcast in the world. Arguably,
Well, I mean, I don't think that's being a comedy fan. That's just numbers.
no, but the way he phrased the way he pitched Ari's stand up,
Right.
the way he pitched Ari's fans, and then these other things that Ari has been on, these other shows,
Yeah.
right? So it was clearly he knew a great deal about that angle,
Yeah.
and not anything else. I mean, he's not watching Paul F. Tompkins, right? He's not seeing a
see.
lot of Marilyn Rice Cub. It's a different
Well, I mean,
angle.
they wouldn't have been part of these stories unless they were doing Kobe tweets, right?
Except for the fact that the other comics that he brings up are only comics.
Oh, like Tony Hinchcliffe and Jeselnik?
Yeah.
I mean,
But so you
think
could
they
just tell
both
where
had-
he's coming from. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I will say that they both had two really good tweets about Kobe that referenced it coming from an angle that
wasn't
and they were really
horrifying?
great jokes. Did you see Jeselnik?
No. What was Jeselnik's?
Because on the same day, Comedy Central announced that James Corden reruns would be airing on Comedy Central, and Jeselnik retweeted it like this. I think it's something like, I didn't think this day could get any worse.
Oh God! Wow.
Hilarious. Anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
But it I mean, it's it's a good story, and it's interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon, and it is definitely new. That comics on Twitter and Instagram can really say the wrong thing really quickly and be
I said something about
temporarily, at least temporarily destroyed.
or sort of hunted.
Yes.
Right? Like someone.
Yeah, I mean, he was doxxed. His address was posted on Twitter for a little bit.
It was weird because it was like, and they can do it to any. Like, I got that weird call from the Daily Beast or whatever.
Yeah.
At my home.
Oh my God.
Asking if I wanted to comment on some. It was not a CK thing, but it might have been. I forget what it was. It was something comparable. And I had made some crack on Twitter, and they're like, "We'd love to get a quote for you from the article for the article." And I never called that person back because I don't want to.
Was it about? Were they? So I got contacted by. I told you this about somebody who'd never written about stand-up comedy before, because I looked at what she had written about.
Yeah,
and it was about this club, and working this guy.
Oh right. Oh wow.
Plus maybe somebody else, some other asshole
equals this this
6
algorithm.
No, but and I was like.
Math tick joke for the win.
So I was like, no, I don't want to participate in this. I don't know what you're.
No,
I have no interest.
It's so hard.
But I just thought it was sort of, it is like a new thing in comedy that we need to worry about a little bit. You know, here's the thing, like what Ari posted was this sort of meta thing that he apparently does with every beloved celebrity, right? Okay, that's fine. It's his wheelhouse and he does it. And but when you look at it dead on without knowing that about him, it
Out
just
of context, it's super cruel.
Oh,
looking.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong. The thing is, he wasn't wrong.
At all.
Liberals did overlook Kobe being a rapist for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
But whatever. That's a separate thing. So it's hard to defend
But
by
was it
itself.
part of the thread, sort of like your Hillary thread? Does he do it as a thread?
No. He just says
Okay.
no. That was part of his statement. Is
But like Kirk Douglas died today,
right,
103.
Right.
Ari Shafir goes, well, that guy was no Spartacus, or what? I mean, I don't know what his joke would be, right? Would it be part of a? I wish it was part of a thread so people could go back and look.
He did post like his pinned tweet was his Paul Walker tweet. When Paul Walker died.
Okay.
So, but the other thing, like, and I don't want to say her name because I don't want to tie her to this doxing, whatever. But if you remember the female comic that had a joke about Lyft, but it used the death of Extensione. Okay. Who's a rapper, right?
Okay.
He died in a way that in her joke, Lyft could have prevented. And then the joke was posted and people went insane. And so you could even do it in a good joke.
Yeah.
And it's going to find the fans are going to be going to misinterpret. With Ari, Ari didn't help them interpret it because it was so it was
he poured gasoline on himself as per usual. Yes.
Right. So, but the overall, we have a lot to worry about. Is what I'm saying is if you incorporate somebody who's got a huge fan base that doesn't pay attention to jokes or doesn't know your comic or doesn't like comedy or whatever, you could be fucked.
You could be fucked. But I will say this too, is what my same point as I made last week is that when I go to see, and I don't, but when I go to see
I'm
improv,
excited for this point. When you see improv.
When I see improv occasionally,
right?
If it is good improv, with people that aren't monsters and aren't assholes or aren't even going for shock jock stuff, they're not going to say something that's going to usually horrify me, right? I might go, that's kind of lame, but I'm not going to.
But improv's a different. I mean, you're talking about people that are going for a laugh from a live audience who are like us when we're performing, versus people who are tweeting something that aren't going for a laugh. They're going for likes and they're going for replies.
But that's what that's what a
different
laugh
currency.
is in Twitter.
It isn't, because you're not looking in the eyes of the people that they're reading the tweet. It's totally different. It shouldn't be considered
because of the level of disconnect.
Yeah,
there's a layer of
Jackie.
Of
you're
backed
standing
off.
in front of an audience and you tell a joke and you look into the eyes of the audience and you hear them either recoil or react, and then you start to move around and figure out how you're gonna get this laugh, right? On Twitter, you don't get any reaction.
But it's an instantaneous post, right?
Yes.
Which is what my improv analogy is.
I don't think it's an accurate analogy because they're two completely different ways to be funny.
But what I'm saying is the instantaneous thing that comes out of when we riff,
right?
We're hardly ever gonna say the N word. Right? It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And so
hardly. Are you? Are we in danger, Jackie?
We are not in danger. Okay. We're not. But
also, that's our who we are as people.
That's my point.
Okay.
And now I'm done.
Are we done?
56.
So close. Anyway,
well, whatever.
It's fine.
When someone said my tweet was ended, I was
you were
like,
worried.
the one I deleted as soon as I found out how tragic it was.
Screenshot.
Fuck.
Yeah,
but it wasn't that one.
It wasn't that one. And so many. I had to actually get off Twitter today just because it was really, the response to a bunch of stuff was really getting me down. So, and plus, I'm vaguely. Also this guy on Facebook, I know you're not on Facebook anymore. He made some crack about Pelosi and Warren, just sort of rando because he's into this. So it just. Kyle didn't even have to see that paper.
As you're describing it, that person's face just appeared in my head.
I do not. I need to disconnect from my comic Bernie bro friends. I can't take. I can't take it.
It is pretty. It's super. Like there's. It's
Strident.
It's strident. Well, sure, but I mean, my thing about Bernie is that there's an optimism there that I never even had when I was 17 about politics.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I was raised in a very political savvy family where we followed the politics and we were like, you get what you get, hopefully, and most of my older siblings were liberals. And so my dad, of course, was, whatever's good for me. And my brother Russ was Michael P. Keaton. So from Family Ties.
Yeah, yeah.
And but which one? Alex P.
Yes.
Keaton, Michael J. Fox. Too many initials, too many names.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a stand, and I appreciate that. Anyway, so but that optimism in the face of actual facts is hard for me. But I like optimism, so it's hard for me to hate them.
Let's flip the Senate.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.